always, but often enough, a narcissist will stalk and study their target long before they approach their targets. The purpose of this is to ensure that they are able to mirror the target effectively. If the narcissist does not stalk and study you beforehand, they will still mirror you, but this becomes more of an impromptu mirroring, where they will let you lead the communication by expressing your likes and dislikes before they either agree or disagree with you. With stalking and studying you beforehand, they are able to initiate some of these likes and dislikes before you do without waiting for your lead,
Hey guys, hey dreamers, hey survivors. You were just listening to Janine Soul. I love her videos. Check her out. She's a narcissist survivor, and I was just listening to her video. It smells so good. I was just listening to her video on mirroring. So I am about to present my interpretation of narcissistic mirroring. 3 parts. Let's go. Narcissistic mirroring, and what I like to call the spiritual attack. Now, I remember when I got my real estate license back in 2001, and I don't remember the guy's name, but he'd made a pretty big reputation for himself, and he became a highly sought after instructor for real estate companies like Century 21 and all the big shot real estate agencies at the time, because he came in and he taught agents how to mirror. And his philosophy was that whoever you were speaking to and trying to sell something to, it was important that you kind of meet them where they are as far as their tone. So if the person had a high kind of hype tone, you want to meet them there. If the person was like skeptical and seeming like they were closed-minded and reluctant, you also wanted to meet them there. You wanted to give them the same temperament that they gave you, but also you wanted to mimic their body language. If they look to the left, you want to look to the left. If they put their voices lower, you want to bring your voices lower. But the whole goal is, during that conversation, you should be trying to get as much information as you can to use it to get this person to buy from you, to buy the house, to rent the condo or whatever. So I clearly remember that, and I was actually pretty impressed with this guy. He was an older guy, but he was in high demand. So narcissistic mirroring is exactly like that, except in this case, the narcissist is trying to get you to buy into yourself, to buy into the ideals that he's recognizing you for having, for you to look at him and see that he has it too, so you could buy into bonding with him. Because when he's mirroring you, you're looking forward to maybe a long life, or maybe even a marriage, or if it's a friend, someone who's a potential best friend, like in my case, being mirrored by someone who was supposed to be my best friend. She was mirroring me to the point where it was very offensive. The flattery was outright disrespectful. I mean, there's a thin line where you can go kind of overboard with mirroring and copying people. And so I'm gonna go, kind of go back and forth between because this mirroring part I needed to put it into 3 parts, because I've actually experienced it so much, and I know you have too, and maybe you haven't recognized it, or maybe now you're having an aha moment. What's important is that you hear what I'm saying and go inside and remember this stuff, so you can be able to identify these narcissists when they enter your life. Because sure, we mirror one another throughout the day lightly for different reasons, to be able to communicate, not overpower someone, or to meet someone, where they are. If they're in a bad mood, we're not going to come around laughing and cracking up, because that would be rude. So we would kind of mirror that person, but not to the extreme. We would mirror them in a way to show respect, to show empathy, to show that we're there with them, we understand. But narcissistic mirroring is a whole nother story. And I'm just going to refer to the greater narcissist that I was dealing with. I felt that he was, according to H.G. Tudor, he coined these terms of, lower narcissists, mid-level narcissists, and greater narcissists. And I'll get to each one. The one that I was with for 5 years, the narcissist that I spent 5 years with, who I learned the most about how horrible this disorder is between him and my father. But then I dealt with the greater narcissist, but it was a brief relationship, because by then I knew enough about narcissistic personality disorder to get out of there. But what made this greater narcissist so good is because he was really able to mimic me in a way that I didn't realize it was happening. I actually thought it was him. I thought that everything that he was showing me was him. And I believe that this person might have been watching me for some time before he approached me. But basically what they do is, not only do they mirror your psychology and your behavior and your movements, they study you. And I'll talk about the narcissistic stare. They're always staring at you. And I had this friend, like it was just so creepy. They always stare at you. They're studying you. They're watching your eyes. They're watching your mouth. They're watching the micro movements in your cheekbones and your teeth and your lips. They're watching the side of your face, your hand movements, your legs, your back, whatever you do. They're watching this stuff. And narcissists, because of that empty void that they have, they seem to have a special ability to adapt this style of you really easily and quickly. They can access it right under your nose and pretend to be you, only to swoop you in and to get you to bond with them one way, because they don't bond with you because they have low empathy, no conscience, or very little conscience. And they also have a very they're very disconnected from their true self. And this empty false self, this super ego, just doesn't have any personality or characteristics that it has cultivated. When the narcissist was a child, it really didn't take into account, because of whatever trauma that the narcissist dealt with. The narcissist didn't take into account or have the time to really grow and shape its own personality. See what it would like and what it would enjoy, because the narcissist is, as I've said before, existing in a perpetual cycle of shame-based emotions that are low on the energy spectrum. The narcissist is angry and resentful and not happy, and because the narcissist is below 2.0 on the energy field in terms of the emotions, there's a chart in one of my videos. I can't think which one now, but I'll put a link at the bottom of this video where you can look at those charts. And they're also in my 12-week You Can't Hurt Me No More self-love kit for empaths who love too hard, with the narcissistic nightmare of the narcissist bonus. So the narcissist exists at this low level, where the emotions and the thoughts that the narcissist entertains are so low that the narcissist doesn't have any energy. The narcissist has to get narcissistic supply to give itself energy so that it can mirror you. So while the narcissist is mirroring you, maybe preparing you for an idealization stage, or maybe you may be in the idealization stage, and the narcissist is mirroring you to get to, while he's getting to know you or she's getting to know you, so that they can get you to bond with them, to create a trauma bond. The narcissist is at the same time devaluing someone else, and so it's getting negative supply, which equals energy. It's getting energy to be able to do this with you. I've actually seen a narcissist low on supply, and boy, it is a sight to see. They are literally very, very limp and exhausted and tired. It's like you can see it. It's like they're so fake all the time. They're so fake. They spend the days being phony. They're at work pretending to be peppy and pep in their step and nice and greeting everyone and stuff like that. But inside they're burning up. Inside they deal with envy and hate all day. They're looking at you and they're mirroring you and they're thinking, How could you be so happy? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Excuse my expression. What are you so excited about? I can't stand you. And I can't wait to suck all of that good energy out of you to make myself look good. You're so stupid. You don't even see that I'm mirroring you. This is not even me. And these are the kind of thoughts that they have. I've actually had, narcissists randomly blurt out negative things and insults that did not match the conversation. And so this is how I know that they think this way, because once you are in a relationship with one and the mask slips or the mask comes all the way off, you get to see exactly what's going on behind the mirroring, right? This person is spiritually attacking you. The mirror is a spiritual attack. If there was anything closer to a demon than that, I don't know what to tell you. And I'll try to find the verse, but there is mention in the Bible about this mimicking thing, and I'm sure we've seen some movies with this mimicking thing, and like Invasions of the Body Snatchers, and we have these foreign organisms that want to get in and imitate and pretend to be human, and they're clones, but they really came to kill or get something. And this is how you have to think of the narcissist. And so before I go, this is the important thing. This is an important aspect of, in my opinion, a way to resist mirroring from anyone, is to cultivate and to really start to practice self-love, to get to know yourself and think about yourself and the things that you like. Know who you are, know your characteristics, know things that are specific to you. So when you see someone and they appear, when you start to get the hint or start to get the drift that someone is mirroring you or copying you, you will detach. You will not, attach on and fall in love with yourself, as they say. The narcissist mirrors you and causes you to fall in love with yourself, right? This is the hypothesis, I should say. This is the theory in the narcissistic personality disorder community, that the narcissist mirrors you to have you fall in love with yourself. Why not be in love with yourself already? This way, when someone is mirroring you, you absolutely don't like it. It doesn't have to become extreme for you to notice it and not like it. Like in my case with the best friend who copied literally everything about me. I can't even think of one thing. To this day, I do not know what that girl likes. What if anything is something of her own, something of her own thinking and doing, and actually liking it. And when you're young, and a lot of my friends I met when I was younger, you can be insecure and not know it and allow people to forge these kind of relationships with you. This particular narcissist that I'm talking about is a covert narcissist, the friend, but the other one who was mirroring me was an overt narcissist, and he was a greater narcissist. He was very manipulative and tricky. He was a high level, high cognitive, high thinking, very, very popular, he was this kind of narcissist. But the female covert narcissist, what makes them so dangerous is that they literally steal your personality, and while they're taking your personality and characteristics through the mirroring process, they're smearing you. They do negative smear campaigns behind your back and talk about you, and you don't even know that these things are happening. So that's another video. So that's what mirroring is. Mirroring is when a narcissist copies everything about you and presents it to you. Your characteristics, the way you talk, the way you move, the way you dress, your favorite colors. If you like theater, they like theater. If you like this artist, they like that artist. If you like to be outside because you like nature, suddenly they like nature. But if you start to ask deep questions or more specific questions about these areas of life that they claim to like, you will find that if it is a narcissist, most of the time they stumble and they can't answer these questions. That is a sure way to catch a narcissist, because they're usually empty. Many of them don't read. Well, these are somatic narcissists. But the female I'm talking about and the male, they were both somatic. I don't think I've known any cerebral narcissists as of yet. Well, at least I can't think of one for this audio. But yeah, and so these people are all around you, and you might think it's just, oh, she's copying me, she's such a biter, or wow, she's ridiculous. But it could be more sinister than that. it could be more dangerous than that. I just wanted to jump in here and say that every one of us has a God-given ability to detect in our spirit when something is not right with the spirit of others. As a matter of fact, right now I just want to ask God to make sure that you're tapped into the discernment to be able to know when someone is mimicking you. Okay? And may that spirit just become confused with their diabolical plan, and that it would disappear, and that it would not be able to trick you and fool you as I have experienced. Check the link below in the video description to learn more about my 12-week digital course, You Can't Hurt Me No More, the self-love kit for empaths who love too hard, and the Nightmare of the Narcissist 79-page bonus PDF with video and interview with Chrissy Monroe, co-star of Love and Hip Hop, and her story about growing up in a narcissistic household and dating narcissists for the majority of her life. Also, the Dreamer to Do a VIP lifestyle suite. We're running a special to come into this private community and talk to me every Wednesday and learn and share experiences about narcissistic abuse and overcoming this abuse and cultivating self-love and getting back to creating love and light.